and with our partners around the world in building a peaceful and just civil society. Because I don't think that the governments of the world, and certainly not our government, is going to be able to solve the dire problems that we have around the world. And so the work that all of us do to help build and hold up a vision of a more peaceful and just world, and that role in embracing that civil society's role is very important, is important to me and important to Peace Action. Chuck had asked that I talk a little bit about Peace Action's current priorities, and I'll do that. Also, for those of you not that familiar, there's some of our newsletters that are around. Also, our congressional voting record that shows how every member of Congress voted on peace issues in the last year. So you can look and see how well, or more likely how badly, your representative voted on peace issues last year. So I want to talk just a little bit about our current priorities and then take a bit of a step back and a little bit of a broader view. Finally, we're starting to get some traction in Washington, which, it's tough for people like me to see this, but in terms of ending the war in Afghanistan, the politicians have long been behind the people, as they always are. But just in the last few weeks, Congress is really starting to turn around, and there was a significant vote that I think is going to make a big impression on the administration in terms of Congress getting sick and tired of footing the bill and, of course, the human toll of our now 10-year war, the longest war in U.S. history in Afghanistan. I think we've turned the corner, not that it's going to end nearly as soon as any of us would like. Of course, Peace Action has been against this war since day one. Literally, as Judy said, I took the job as the national director on September 4th. So for a week, we had this great work plan that we were going to work on Star Wars, and then that went out the window, obviously, on September 11th. But on September 12th, the day after, Judy and others on our national board, we had a conference call because we knew, unfortunately, that a war would ensue. But, I think we have turned that corner, and I think the end is in sight, and we're at least on the downhill slide now. A campaign that I think is the most promising right now is our Move the Money or Peace Economy campaign, which Judith does a fantastic job on. In terms of cutting military spending and reinvesting the savings in human needs, which is what we need to get this economy moving again, and of course what the whole world needs. This is the best political climate that I've seen to make progress on this issue in 25 years or more. And all around the country, peace action groups are working in conjunction with unions, with business leaders, with religious groups, with social service organizations, and with state and local legislators. Because they know there ain't no money except that there's two sources. You can get it out of the war machine and you can tax the rich and corporations. Those are the only two ways, and that's what the problem is. It's not that there's not enough money, it's that it's going to all the wrong places. And I think that work just has incredible potential to really make a difference. And on our nuclear disarmament work, which I know a lot of you here are very concerned about and work on a lot at the UN, the picture is not very good, frankly, despite President Obama's professed goal of working towards eliminating nuclear weapons around the world. The modest New START treaty that we signed last year came with a horrible price tag of over $200 billion over the next 10 years to modernize our nuclear weapons arsenal and complex. And at a time when the world economy and the U.S. economy is struggling so badly, I can't think of a worse misappropriation of funds than to put over $200 billion into weapons that are totally worthless. And you just hear, like, why do we even need any of these anymore? And they talk about, well, Russia still has X amount. Well, why in the world should the U.S. and Russia even be thinking about each other, in terms of pointing nuclear weapons at each other? It's just absurd. And then a campaign that we've been pretty unique in the peace movement, what we call our Peace Voter campaign. It'll be called Peace Voter 2012, which is both endorsing candidates but also nonpartisan work to raise up our issues, peace and disarmament and social justice issues, on our terms and make the politicians running for office answer to what our priorities are. And we do that with a very strong independent voice, not just dependent on whatever the Democrats say is the best that they can do. So I think that our program work now is as good or maybe better than it's been in the 10 years that I've been the executive